So we all know Twilight, right?
Like it was a book that wasn't supposed to be published.
They're an interesting set of films which, whilst yes, are entertaining, are also, to put it lightly, a bit weird.
How long have you been 17?
A while.
Well, what if I told you there was a Christian version of the film? And yeah, this one is also a bit weird.
How long have you been that old?
For about 2,028 years.
And I say kind of because the Christian side of it is, well, it's very confusing, to put it lightly. And also, it's technically not based on Twilight. It's actually, coincidentally, just like Twilight, based on a novel of the same name. Now, yes, this novel was released at exactly the same time as the film, has exactly the same plot as the film, only has 99 pages, has no original artwork and just uses photos from the movie, and was also written by someone who has never written any other books before or since. But despite all that, it definitely was not written just so they could put on the poster based on a novel. Definitely not the reason they released this book. But what's this film all about then? Let's have a read of the bio. Oh wait, no, I'm not going to read you the bio because it completely ruins the movie. I have no idea why they've done this, but if you read the bio on IMDb, it just gives away the entire plot. So no, I'm not going to read that to you because the ending's actually very interesting, so you're going to have to stick around for that one. But anyway, yes, let's get on to watching it. So it actually starts with a warning by the FBI about unauthorized reproduction or distribution of the movie, so I'm going to assume then that Linda Weaver, they're in prison. But the actual film starts off with a clip of the moon and narration talking about how if vampires do exist, who are we as humans to say they're the evil ones? And so true. We then see the actual opening shots and yeah, it's immediately obvious this is an incredibly low budget movie. We're then introduced to the two most late 2000s looking characters of all time, and they say this.
Dude, look at this. I wouldn't go anywhere looking like that. Me either.
Hey, bite me.
Yeah, in case you couldn't guess, this is a film about vampires, you know, get it? Bite me.
Take a look at this guy. He totally needs a tan. He's like the palest person ever. I know. It looks like he's been stuck inside his whole life.
Does it? I can't really see that because is he not exactly the same complexion as everyone else we've seen in the movie so far? So why are they saying this? Well, once again, if you couldn't guess, there's actually a film about vampires and like being pale is like a vampire thing. So yeah, in case you couldn't tell, this is actually a film about vampires. I don't know if you got that yet. Although to be fair, I don't think I would have guessed that this would have been the hot, sexy vampire of the movie. So maybe it was good they pointed that out. We then see the other main character of the movie, Chloe.
I just had a massive touch of chemistry. I had to get that done.
What? I'm not sure why every low budget movie just has to have a horrendous audio where you just can't understand what anyone's saying. Like, can they not just use a microphone? I don't know why they do that. But yeah, just like the two other characters we saw, Chloe is looking prime late 2000s with the fingerless gloves, fluffy pink scarf, and of course, just like everyone in this movie, eyeliner. And oh whoa, she immediately notices a pale vampire guy because who wouldn't? It's not like he looks like everyone else. It's not like he looks incredibly normal. Anyway, we finally move on to a lesson and the teacher writes on the board what they're going to be learning about today. Nope, I have no idea what it says either. So along with great audio, we've also got great camera work. Great. But anyway, it turns out this is an English class and this semester they're going to be looking at none other than, you guessed it, Dracula. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, this is a vampire film. I don't know if you've got that. And whoa, I'm sure no one cares, but I have to mention this. There's an eMac. Don't really know why I'm pointing this out, but I just find it so weird that Apple made a product called an eMac. Like, that's so corny. Like, and the E stands for, you guessed it, Education Mac. Wow. Anyway, back to the movie. And to make this class more interesting, the teacher actually decides that they're going to put on a play of Dracula, and he picks out the roles, and you guessed it, vampire guy gets to play Dracula. And we actually also learned that his name is Aurelius, you know, classic vampire name. And then he goes around and picks the roles for other people, and Chloe gets picked as someone who gets bitten by Dracula. Whoa, what a surprise. And okay, right, I know I already mentioned it, but I'm sure you're all thinking this, and I don't want to be mean here, but why on earth did they pick this guy as the Edward Cullen of the movie? No offense, but he looks like someone who lives in his mum's basement, smells of onions, and works at a Dungeons and Dragons shop. And okay, looks aren't everything. Okay, so maybe he makes up for it by being, I don't know, mysterious, charismatic, or at a bare minimum, he actually delivers his lines with good quality. No, he does none of that. He is literally horrendous. And this is really funny. Okay, so the director was asked, oh, what do you like about your main character? And this was his response.
I had a lot of fun working with Mike. He's a good actor, always on time.
Wow, that's really good quality. That. Anything else? No, that's it. He turns up on time. Good one. That, yeah, good casting. Okay, I will stop blatantly offending him in a second. But you know when you're making a me, right? You see like some of the features you can pick. You've just never seen them on any human being in the entire world. And you just think, why would anyone put that on their me, right? No human exists with any of these features. And well, for me, there was always this one nose, which I just thought, like, who would ever pick that? That is horrendous. I've never seen anybody with that. Oh my God, this guy, he has it. But anyway, after class, some of the students are discussing their roles, and we are treated to some of the worst acting and line delivery I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I'm happy with my part. I've always wanted to play a sultry female vampire. Who knew that lit class would bring all my fantasies to fruition?
I don't know, dude. It's the whole performing in front of people thing that gets me. I mean, not cool, dude. I get reputationable.
Reputationable? I have no idea what that means. And obviously there's words I haven't heard of before and I hear them and I look them up on the internet and find out what they mean. I'm not a dictionary. I don't know every word in the English language. And I thought I just haven't heard this word. I'll look it up. I looked it up with every spelling variation I could think of. This word doesn't exist as far as I can tell. I'm probably being stupid here, but let me know, what does reputationable mean? I can't find a meaning for it anywhere, so let me know in the comments down below, because, or what else could he have meant? Like, he clearly says reputationable.
Personally, I'm thrilled about this. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Besides, at least we won't be stuck listening to Professor droning on for an hour. It's a nice change of pace, at least.
I have one question for this person. Did they want to be an actor? Right? Like, that is horrendous. They seem shy, and not like they're trying to act shy. They actually just seem shy, like they don't even want to be on camera. Did they just pluck these people out of nowhere? Surely, because that can't be the line delivery of someone who wants to be an actor, okay? And I hope for their sake that they don't want to be an actor. Anyway, Chloe goes off to tell her friend about it, and she gets asked, well, who's playing Dracula?
Remember that pale guy we saw in the courtyard this morning? Yeah. Well, that's who Professor picked. Are you serious? That's not much of a stretch. He's already got the pale and mysterious thing going for him. I doubt he'll need any makeup for the performance.
I honestly don't get it. He looked completely normal, especially at the start. Like, without him doing his snorting thing, like, he looks normal. And yes, I know I said I did offend him and say he looks like he works in a Dungeons and Dragons shop, but that's a normal thing. Well, kind of. But you know what I mean? He looks like a normal person. He isn't. I wouldn't see him down the street and go, oh my God, that's literally a vampire. I've seen the most pale person I've ever seen. Like, I've just seen a ghost. I wouldn't bat an eyelid. He looks normal.
Sorry.
What is this guy? I don't know why they keep making him do this weird stuff. It's not mysterious. It's not cool. It's just weird. And I don't get it, because he, like, for the rest of the movie, he's genuinely a completely normal human, basically. Like, yes, apparently he's a vampire, but he is completely normal. So why is he doing this? I don't get it. Anyway, Aurelius is in the library by himself, and oh, there's another Remac. But yes, Chloe goes and sits at his table and introduces herself.
Hey, Aurelius, right? You're in my lit class?
To be fair, I don't know if he was just waiting for her to say something he could actually respond to, because she just didn't say anything that he didn't need to respond to that. Anyway, Chloe suggests that they should meet up to practice some lines together, and Aurelius agrees. Why does he keep doing that? He does it again. Stop it. It's not mysterious. It's not cool. It's not making me think you're hot. It's just weird.
Hello. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Better now that I'm here.
That kind of day, huh?
That kind of day. So they decide the scene they're going to practice is the one of Dracula biting her neck.
Sounds good.
And to be honest, I don't think you really needed to practice that. Right, I don't really know what the point of that was. Not really something that required a lot of skill there. And also, not something you're going to forget. Like, they met up, and that is the only thing they practiced, okay? They didn't practice any lines, anything important. They met up to do that once, and that was it. Anyway, after all that hard work, they go for coffee, and Chloe says that she's majoring in cultural anthropology, while she'll never believe what Aurelius is majoring in, hematology, the study of blood. We then finally hear the first mention of religion because Chloe says she's actually really involved at the church and her dad is a pastor at the local kingdom hall. Chloe then invites Aurelius to church with her and he agrees, which, you know, I don't know why you'd agree to that. If you have the choice not to go to church, why would you go to church? But okay. But yeah, at church we see some long ass performance from some random guy. And yes, my thoughts exactly Aurelius. And then just more long Jesus talk. The service finally finishes and we see this clip of the outside of the church, okay? Remember this, okay? Because I'm going to come back to this at the end of the movie because there's something quite wrong with this, okay? And some of you might have been able to pick that out, but most of you probably won't know. So we're going to mention that at the end because yeah, it's a bit of a flaw in the movie. Chloe then introduces Aurelius to her dad and he actually invites him straight over for dinner. Aurelius then comes over for dinner with some flowers for her mum and Chloe, and he's also wearing the most unvampire-like clothes I've ever seen. So yeah, we meet Chloe's mum and OMG, the best character, her brother, Chad.
This is our son, Chad.
Nice to meet you, Chad.
You too.
Oh, my guy, Chad. And I actually found out that Chad and his mum, who's actually his aunt in real life, applied for this film on Craigslist and were just selected. So yeah, the more you know. So they have a little prayer before dinner and oh my God, why is there a pumpkin on the table? Anyway, in their prayer, they pray to Jehovah, which of course means they're Jehovah's Witnesses, which again links to the church. And that is what, you know, makes it so wrong. We'll discuss that later. But yeah, just remember that they're Jehovah's Witnesses. And also, I assume that the pumpkin must be to do with this as well. I looked up, I can't find anything. But if that's true, someone enlighten me in the comments. Anyway, they ask Aurelius a bit about himself and he says he studies blood. And the dad is like, oh, in our religion, we think blood is sacred. And that means that we can't eat blood of any kind. We can't like look into blood. We can't receive blood transfusions. And this is what Aurelius responds to that.
So if you were in a bad accident and lost a lot of blood, you'd be in a real predicament then. That's a shame.
Lol.
Aurelius, you barely touched your food.
Don't worry about it, I'll eat it.
Aurelius then after the meal drives off and stumbles across a bloodmobile, just as you do, and asks to buy some of the blood, which, you know, vampire, makes sense. And the guy running the fan adventure agrees and then later drops it off at his house. But before we move on from that, now this is what bloodmobiles usually look like, okay? They're big, they have to be big because, you know, people need to be able to give blood in them and need to have all the equipment and stuff like that. But the bloodmobile in the film looks like this. Yeah, there is no way I would ever be giving blood to someone that's just sitting in a car like that's got a sticker that says Bloodmobile on it. Would anyone do that? Would anyone give their blood to that? No, I feel like I'd probably get murdered if I did that. Anyway, the Bloodmobile guy drops off the blood at Aurelius' house and he's looking around it and he's like, oh, this is really weird. The music tries to make it out as though this is like a really creepy house. It looks completely normal. Well, apart from that, after that, Aurelius goes to see Chloe and they go on a lovely romantic walk. Could be all in our heads, or maybe it's the best thing we found. Yep, just pretend to drink water. After a lovely montage of them basically becoming a couple now, Aurelius says that he's printed off some notes for class on vampires and he asks Chloe if she wants to come back to his so they can go and get them. Very smooth. So she agrees and they go back to his, and when she's there, she goes to the toilet, and when she goes to the toilet, she stumbles across the blood, and then when she goes home, it all starts to click. And so the next day she goes to confront him and he just immediately agrees.
A vampire?
Yes.
So Chloe doesn't actually mind, she just wants to find out more. So Aurelius tells her that he's actually 2,000 years old and stopped aging at 20.
How old are you?
20.
Mate, I think you might have actually stopped a bit closer to 30 than 20, but you know, keep dreaming. And Chloe's response to all this information is,
did you see Jesus?
I heard him speak a couple of times.
He was a great man.
As you do. So anyway, Aurelius and Chloe go to look at the stars, and amongst this weird repeated shot of Chloe, Aurelius says the reason he is studying hematology is because he wants to finally make use of his immortality and try to help cure diseases he has seen ruin people's lives. Very nice guy, but it does make me wonder, what has he been doing for the past 2,000 years? Did he have a job? Did he love anyone before? Has he studied before? Why has it taken him 2,000 years to save up for community college? Who knows? But you know what? I reckon it'd make a good spin-off series.
When I'm with you, I feel like I could die.
What a nice compliment. Anyway, the moment we've all been waiting for, they finally kiss, which is, oh, so romantic. But I'm going to ruin the mood a little bit here. So I'm not going to make any accusations here. But I think we can all agree that the actor that plays Aurelius is at a minimum 20 years old. Maybe a push. The absolute maximum push. He's maybe 18. Yes, I think he's closer to 30, but I don't know his age. So maybe, just maybe, he could be in and around his 20s. Well, what if I told you that the actor that played Chloe was 15? Now, once again, I'm not making any actual accusation here because I can't find the age of the person that plays Aurelius, called Michael Bowl. I can't find his age anywhere on the internet. So I can't say anything for certain. But yeah, ain't looking good. And actually, this is mainly on the director, I'd say. So who was this director? It was someone called Vitali Versace. As you can expect, I've never heard of him. So let's find out a little bit about this guy and read his IMDb page. Vitali Versace was born in Russia and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. His mother's name is Anna Versace. Okay. His father, Anatoly Versace, worked in management at a law firm in Russia. Okay. He has a young brother, George, and younger sister, Yana. Okay. At Chernovty High School, Versace was involved in sports, debating, student government and school musicals. Right. He left college 2 credits short of graduating to move to California. Before he became successful at acting and producing, Versace supported himself by driving UPS and working as background actor. And that's apparently written by Anna Jackson. Well, that was useful. Really know a lot about his career now. Anyway, we'll keep reading. Trademarks. Oh, okay. Let's see what it says. Blue eyes. Okay. Right. Yeah. Anything else? No? Just blue eyes? Okay. Looking into this guy is so strange. Like, he's not really worked on anything famous before, but like, he was randomly a voice actor in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And also, one of the movies he's produced, Silent Screams, stars the guy who was Peter Parker's landlord in Spider-Man 2 and 3.
Give me rent.
Oh, and just to finish off on this director, so on his YouTube channel, which is a goldmine in itself, he did the Ice Bucket Challenge. Celebrity Ice Bucket Challenge. And when people did that, if you remember, they challenged 3 other people to do it. The 3 people he chose were none other than Adam Sandler, Miley Cyrus, and Selena Gomez. Anyway, enough of that interesting guy, and back to the movie. Okay, so a few days later, Chloe's dad invites Aurelius over for another dinner, and at the dinner everything goes well, and Aurelius asks Chad if he wants to go out and play some ball afterwards.
What did you say, Chad?
Yeah, sure.
My guy. But after dinner, Aurelius goes up to the bathroom to throw up the food because actually vampires can't eat anything other than blood, so he has to throw up the food he's eaten just to look polite. And guess what? Chloe hears this, so she goes up to check on him, and Chad hears. But surely he's not gonna, he's not gonna say anything because, he's cool. But yeah, after that they go down, play some ball in the yard, and I'm only showing this because we get this amazing clip that they left in. I don't know why they left it in, but I love it. Oh, okay, so Aurelius is now pouring out his blood. He must be a pro at this, having done it for 2,000 years. Let's take a look. Nice, that's really cool, that. So on to the next day, and whoa, plot twist, because, okay, so throughout the movie so far, we've seen a couple of clips with Chloe and a doctor talking about a medication or something, but now we find out she has AIDS, and nothing is working. And why is this important? Well, remember, Vampires can't get sick. See where it's going?
There's something I think you guys should know. Something I overheard the other day.
Chad, what are you doing?
I heard Chloe say that he's a vampire.
Chad, no, my guy, I thought you were cool. Oh, I'm so disappointed, but you know, no normal parents would believe this, right? And initially, yeah, they're like, well, they're just doing a vampire play. I'm sure it's just that. But then Chad says this.
I heard them talking about how eating food makes him sick.
What?
Whoa, okay, must be true. He threw up. Yeah, he's a vampire. And the dad says, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And yeah, the dad, by getting to the bottom of this, he just goes and asks Chloe.
He said that he heard you say that Aurelius is a vampire. Is this true?
Dad,
Chloe, what are you doing? Just say no, like laugh it off, like what are you doing? She completely spills everything to her dad, who goes off, and so now Chloe is panicking, thinking, oh my god, what's he going to do to Aurelius? She tries to call Aurelius, but he doesn't pick up. But why doesn't he pick up? Wow, this is why.
We are gathered here because this being has defiled that which we treasure most.
Oh my Jesus, what the hell? I'm starting to think maybe this isn't a religious movie after all. But also, Aurelius, could you not just have ran away? Like, we have seen you've got super speed, so how would they have been able to catch him?
Jesus shed his blood for us on the stake so that we might be saved.
Chad, this is all your fault. But it doesn't matter, because guess who's here? Chloe. She's here to save the day. How's she gonna do it?
stop or I'll shoot. He wants to help find a cure for diseases like AIDS. Maybe that doesn't mean much to you, but it means a lot to people like me who have it. That's right, I have AIDS and it's advancing very quickly.
That's just touching.
I'm not playing around.
Yep, just straight up murder because she has AIDS, as you do. But thank God, Aurelius is free. They go back to Aurelius's place and he explains that they caught him because they asked him to come to the church to do some work, and then when he got there, they ambushed him. Still reckon he could have got away because, you know, super speed, but whatever. Aurelius then asks Chloe how she got AIDS, and she explains, okay, basically she was on a mission trip in Africa and the clinic they were at was attacked, and she helped a girl who had been cut, and some of the girl's blood went into a cut Chloe had. Slightly racist. They have a bit more of a chat about it, and because Chloe's obviously dying from it, she asks Aurelius if he can bite her. He says, no, you wouldn't actually want it, it's not that good, living forever is not all it's cracked up to be. But she says, no, I do want it, because as long as I can be with you, that's all I want. But despite that, he still says he's unsure and that they should speak about it another time. Anyway, in case you forgot, they still had the play to perform, of course. Yes, Chloe just murdered someone and is probably on the run from the police, but still, she's got her priorities straight. They need to perform.
But I must only wait on Hopeless and work.
I guess you could say they're smart for hiding in plain sight, but I'm also wondering, are her parents there? Is Chad there?
Yeah, sure.
Who knows, but you guessed it. It's time for that scene. And yeah, that's the end of the movie. That is the last vampire on Earth. Well, don't forget there's 10 minutes of credits just to get the movie to the 1 hour 30 mark to make it look like a proper movie. Okay, so thoughts on the movie. So it's kind of terrible. Well, okay, actually very terrible. But I gotta admit, I did kind of enjoy watching it. Like, it's not so bad that it's just bad. It's like that perfect spot where it's horrendous, but in an entertaining way, so would actually recommend you watching it. Yeah, it's a fun watch. But now I've got to answer the question, is it actually a religious film? Well, no, because the religious people are made out to be murderers at the end of the movie. And obviously early in the movie, if you remember, I highlighted the church. Why did I do this? That's because it looks nothing like a Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall. Jehovah's Witnesses also don't use symbols such as the cross, and oh, there's a cross. So all that, along with some other things, like there's also terminology they use, which isn't the terminology Jehovah's Witnesses would use, mean that this obviously isn't a Jehovah's Witness film, which originally I thought it was. But I'm sure this came across to you as well. It still felt like a religious movie. Like, it was overly PG at times, there was a lot of Jesus talk, and there was always this thing, it felt like they were trying to get the the good message across. But how can it be a religious movie if they're painting Jehovah's Witnesses in a bad light? And just like before, I'm not going to make any accusations, but maybe the director or writer, if they're not the same person, are maybe from another strand of Christianity and they wanted to paint them in a bad light and make, I don't know, a different form look better. Maybe that could be the case and maybe it's still a religious movie. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that down below because it's very confusing. Oh, and just before I finish the video, I nearly forgot. Remember the bio I said about? Well, I'll read that now and you'll see what I meant. A second-hand report of a man vomiting after eating chicken leads a preacher to believe a vampire is afoot. Luckily for the guy, his girlfriend has AIDS, which allows him to be spared. Now, yes, actually leaves a lot of questions, but it does spoil the whole thing that he gets spared. It spoils a lot of it, and yeah, I don't know why they wrote the bio like this. But yeah, that is going to be it for this one. Very weird movie indeed. Let me know your thoughts on it down below, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
That ends my report from the scene.